everyone, it's Rachel from The Littering Lamb, and today's news and back to me, what's Rachel reading, / an update because I've been away for like a little over a month and I need to obviously explain what's been going on. There's actually been a lot going on. Something's good, something's not so good. So I'm going to introduce the book I'm reading, talk about that for a second, talk about a book I just previously read, and then get into that. So the book I'm currently reading is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I'm currently on page 106. I'm probably not going to read any more of this today just because I'm going on a walk this evening and I've been trying to get other stuff done this afternoon, so when I come home from my walk after dinner, I don't have as much as I usually plan on myself because it's just a slog at the end of the evening. I'm running around trying to get everything done. Just like in my night routine, which I could start some of it a little bit earlier. But does that ever happen? Rarely ever. It's like 10:30. I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably like do my yoga, which I've been really bad with my mat work lately. And, you know, do my skincare, brush my teeth. And I'm like already tired and don't want to get up. It's fabulous. Anyway, the book I just finished reading was The Final Revival, Opal and Neve, or Neve. I'm not sure which one's pronounced. I pronounce it Neve, but I've seen the same name pronounced as Neve, so I could be completely wrong. And it's by Donnie Walton. And I'm going to look up the correct pronunciation to make sure I'm correctly pronouncing the author's name and his name when I go to do a wrap-up. But this book was so good. It basically tells the story of this duo act from the 70s, Opal and Neve, and how they kind of came to be, their history, what's happened since then. And it's kind of told like a VH1 True Hollywood Story special. It's told in like little interview snippets, and the editor / writer is named Sunny, and she actually has kind of like her own connection to the story, being that her dad was connected to this group. He was a drummer who helped, I guess, lay down the music, that's the correct terminology, when they were recording their first album, and he was a very important part of Opal's life. So I just thought it was a really good book. I just want to talk about it for a moment. If you've read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, speaking of her, if you've read that and really like the style of that book, I'd say stylistically this is like pretty similar. The books are completely different, but just thought I'd give that little recommendation there. Very good book. I hadn't heard of this book before, but I was perusing Chapters, which is the Canadian bookstore chain. Saw this book and I was like, that sounds interesting. I was also perusing because I bought a few books for myself and pre-ordered a few. Because, you know, like the new Sally Rooney, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Alan Hildebrand. So many good ones, and it's just been a month, so I decided to treat myself. Which, you know, with books is always so satisfying. Anyway, for the update, I'm just putting my phone down, so if you see a black screen, it's just my phone and my comforter. I'm going to update you as quick as I can because I filmed this video last night and it was 20 minutes long, and I was like, that's way too long. I was getting way too personal. Not that I don't want to get personal, it's just because it's the internet, you know? Not that I don't trust everybody watching. But I had 3 kind of big things happen this past month. They didn't impact my reading as much. A little bit my reading was impacted, but I'll get into that. Or really 4 things. First being, I think the week after I posted my last video, I started my 5th master's course. It actually runs until next Monday, so I have just a week left of schoolwork, and then I don't have any coursework till September. I am going to be working on my portfolio project for my master's degree. It's one of my requirements, and because I picked that route. So I'm going to be doing that this summer. So I'm going to be working like a work week, like a 40-hour work week on that. But I just won't have any deadlines. Like I just have to get this stuff done by the end of summer. So it's not like every week I have something to do. I can kind of be flexible, which is awesome. And then, sorry, I got a text message on my screen. It distracted me. Goodness. So I had that going on and still have that kind of going on. Then a few days before my master's course was set to start, I got a text from my friend, or a phone call from my friend saying, oh my gosh, the math test has spots opening on Sunday, etc., etc. Now, if you haven't been on my channel for a while, I'll just do this very quickly. Basically, this mathematics proficiency test was put into place halfway through my teaching program, they did the field test in 2020 and they had very limited spots. It was open to everybody, not like it wasn't just like, oh, graduates get first come first serve. Literally open to everybody, so anybody could take it. I didn't have time to really study during that time, and I figured they'll have spots later on. We had obviously the pandemic hit, and not only is the test just poorly, like, just the whole situation is very mismanaged. There's so much miscommunication and all that jazz, that we've been waiting. We have till August 2021, and they just on May 1st allowed us to sign up for dates to take the test remotely. Problematic because we were promised a year. But I did pass my test. I already took it. I passed it. So I took like the first 2 weeks of May to really study, and I had it mid-May. So I don't have that anymore. So I will keep my job and I will not lose my license, which is beautiful. But we have a lawsuit going on about that. So I was like really spiraling about that because before taking the test, like obviously I didn't know what was going to happen. Still supporting that. And because it's not fair that, like, it's not legal that they put extra accreditation when we were already halfway through our program. We'd already started and paid the fees for it, and my school also already had a math test we had to take. And the organization, you know, throwing out this test, even had a whole study that was printed, that was released last year that said these tests don't help teacher training, which is the organization that created the test. So that's just a brief, you know, stressful situation, really stressful. Like, I'm talking about it now being fine, but it's still like extremely hot button issue. So I'm going to leave that because I could be talking about that forever. So I had that going on. And then also, I had the day after I got that phone call from my friend, I actually had my very important doctor's appointment, which I was, excuse me, jeebers. I just drank a smoothie. I had my super important like specialist appointment to figure out everything. I've been really excited about this appointment. I believe I just did talk about this a bit, but pretty much the gist of it is I've had health issues for the past 16 years. I'm turning 26, so over half my life. I'm turning 26 this summer. Didn't finish that thought. And we don't know if it, we know at 10 years old I had this, but it probably was earlier when we just pinpointed at 10, so it could have been most of my life. I could have been born with it. We don't know yet. But I went to my doctor. He's super nice. I just met him. I went in for the appointment just because when I'm meeting a doctor for the first time, I want to be face to face. And I was just really happy because it was like finally somebody's hearing me, because I feel like with the medical, like when I've been going for so many years, I think people treat you almost like you're a hypochondriac, and I'm like, I'm not. I don't want to be wasting my time booking appointments. That's why I give up sometimes. I'm like, oh, just screw it. And then a year later, I'm like, I need to get back on the train and like figuring everything out. So, anywho, my doctor did give me pretty much a diagnosis, what he thinks it is, which is what I thought it originally was when I started this new kind of round of going to the doctors. I'm going to be doing some more blood tests this month or next month. I'm still waiting for the forms. And we're going to be like making sure everything's good with my organs. So far all my organs are great, so was good news to hear, because obviously it's a worry with one of my parents' health stuff. We had to watch certain organs. But I was really happy that I got like basically a diagnosis, but at the same time when you get that and you know, like it just brings up a lot of stuff that's gone on, and like it brings up a lot of emotions, because it's like when you've been treated a certain way, and like, you know, people going, oh, you're lazy, blah blah, but like I haven't been. There's actually something wrong, people. Like I was right, there is something happening. There's something not normal, or like normal by, you know, the regular standards. Obviously there's no normal. So I've been just dealing with the fallout and the repercussions of that, like kind of going through kind of a grieving period, if you may, like just a lot of emotions. I'm very like very emotional right now. That's a better word to say. So like it didn't make me really want to come on here and talk. I've been very cagey even talking about like my medical stuff. My friends, which are typically like my really close friends, typically really, really open about it. I'm starting to open up right now. So I've just been trying to keep my plans and keep, you know, socializing going, even if I don't necessarily feel up to it. I've been trying my best, because it's, you know, best for me to make sure I stay with my routines, and like stuff I'm used to. Then the fourth thing that happened was I got really badly sick. So I had a cold. It wasn't coronavirus. I think it was leaning towards bronchitis. It felt like I've never had bronchitis, but just the symptoms. I don't know if bronchitis can go away on its own because I didn't look that far into it, but it was just a really nasty cold to the point where there's a few days where I was literally like could barely breathe when I moved. It was just really horrible, and I actually had this fever and horrible sickness writing the test, so the fact that I passed being, delirious is a testament to my brain. Congratulations. But yeah, I had that for about close to 2 weeks, and then I needed a week just to recover. Just because of my health stuff, it does take more out of me than the average person, so I need some time for recovery after getting sick a bit longer than usual. So that's basically everything that happened the past month. A lot happened, a lot good, a lot not so good. We had a nice mixture there. I'm going to try to be getting back to filming videos. I don't know how fast it's going to happen, and I'm not going to put myself in a timeline just because I'm dealing with a lot right now. There's a lot on my plate, and I don't want to pressure myself because I need to take care of myself first to make sure I'm okay, like health-wise. But I do plan on coming back to do videos. I really want to do wrap-ups because I have so many good books I've read. And I'm going to keep doing these weekly videos. I hope I'm going to be weekly. It might be bi-weekly, or I may have a few gaps in between for the next 2 months or so, but just bear with me. I'm being as honest as I can with you guys, and I appreciate all your support because I know the last years has been a lot of stop and start, and that's not been intentional. I hate doing that. I feel like I let you guys down when I do that, so I'm trying not to stick to a schedule right now. Besides these weekly videos, because they're low maintenance, I don't have to edit them, and I just really, every time I read something, I think of you guys and like the community we fostered and how I want to share, and I really need to get back to that. So yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I'm going to get back to your comments. I promise. I really need to get back to them soon. And no worries about anything that's going on. I don't want anybody to worry. And I will be back. Don't worry. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.